Welcome to Ongerup Football Association's preliminary final wrap for Saturday, August 25, 2018. I'm Gary Bartholomews. With me is OFA Life member. Good morning to Kim Parsons.
Good morning to you, Gary, and morning to your listeners.
Intense pressure won through for Naranggarup on Saturday, Kim.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen Naranggarup, the club themselves, put so much pressure on for the whole game as what they did on the weekend. It was just incredible pressure, and Newdigate, had a couple of players down on form, and that's the way it finished in the end, but really good win in Naranggarup.
Yeah, tough game, wasn't it? Jaramungup did a wonderful job of hosting, you reckon?
The day went off absolutely magnificent. Unfortunately, the weather was nice. Would rather have seen rain, but it was a really good day of sport all round, hockey and netball and football.
Yeah, we'll start off with the hockey. In the junior hockey, Boxwood Hill and Lake Race Pingerup were 2-2 at full time, and then they had to play into extra time. I believe it was still a draw after that, and because Boxwood ended up higher on the season ladder, they came out with the win. So moving to a grand final. In the senior hockey, I better get back to the juniors. Lucinda Pollard scored a goal, and so did Mitch Murdoch. Michael Watson scored a goal for Lake Race Pingerup and Lucas Robertson the other. The best for the winners, Harrison McLeod, Elsie Wright and Mitch Murdoch. And for Lake Race Pingerup, Campbell Chatfield, Luke Clifford and Lucas Robinson. In the senior hockey, Lake Race Pingerup 5, Newdigate 2. The goals for Lake Race Pingerup, Lisa O'Neill 2, Lynette Carruthers, Tamika Rukins and Sinead Prater 1 each. For Newdigate, single goals to Robin Orr and Kelly Barr. The best for Lake Race Pingerup, Lynn Carruthers, Imogen Taylor and Elisa O'Neill. And for Newdigate, Kelly Barr, Rebecca Dunkeld and Kerry Eifler. Moving on to the netball results. In the juniors in netball, Naranggarup 28 defeated Boxwood Hill 14. The best for Naranggarup were Michaela Maslick and Ruby Barrows. And for Boxwood, Macy McLeod and Clancy O'Neill. In the B netball, Lake Race Pingerup 47, Jaramungup 22. Best for Lake Race Pingerup, Casey Pinney and Beth Curtin. And Melissa Barrett and Rosemary Lester were best for Jaramungup. In the A-grade netball, Naranggarup 45 defeated Boxwood 36. Best for the winners, Kelsey Hooper and Angie Gaddy. And for Boxwood, Cassandra Cheetham and Tracy Hood. Is there anything you'd like to say about those two sports?
No, I don't get to see a lot of that, Gary, but it's really well supported, our netball and hockey, and good to see all the winners there, and let's hope they have a great grand final.
Okay, moving on to the junior football then. Naranggarup 11-13, 79 to Boxwood Hill 7-2, 44 the margin, 35 points. No goal scorers were given for the winners, but for Boxwood Hill 2 each to Judson Lowson and Mitch Murdoch. And the best for Naranggarup was Murray Haywood. The best for Boxwood were Mitch Murdoch and Fraser King. In the reserves, Boxwood Hill 15-7, beating Naranggarup by 51 points, 6-10, 48 their score. 46, Naranggarup score. In the goal scorer for Boxwood, 10 goals to Jared King in a magnificent display. Doug McLeod and Evan Kirst 2 each. And for Naranggarup, 2 each also to Scott Dowsett, Lachlan Lewis and Jamie Bolton of Naranggarup. The best for the winners, Jack Davis, Mitchell Bell, Chris Stone, Corey Collins and Lachlan Ray and Luke Micken. Before we get on to the league encounter, do you want to...
Yeah, I find it incredible that Jared King doesn't get mentioned in the best players there. He's kicked 10 out of 15 and still can't make a best players. And his last 2 trips to the Jaramungup Oval, he's kicked 26 goals. It's quite incredible because he kicked 16 in the final fixture, home and away, and then 10 in the preliminary final. So it's a pretty good bag of goals, isn't it, for their full forward? But good win from Boxwood. They bounced back after only lost 1 game for the year, and that was in the second semi, but now they're back into a grand final, so they have a chance to redeem themselves next week.
Yes, in the league encounter, Naranggarup in a real tough match for the whole game, beat Newdigate 10-7, 67 to 8-8, 56. The margin just 11 points. Goals for Norangarup. Craig Bolton 3, Jack Batchelor and Damien Bud Stewart both kicked 2. For Newdigate, Jared OFA 5 out of the 8 goals. Best for Norangarup, Scott Anderson, Damien Bud Stewart playing his 200th league game for the club, and Zach Walt. And for Newdigate, Ian Lloyd, Darcy Thompson and Mitchell Bryan.
Yeah, no, a really good, really hard, tough match this, as you said before, Gary. And Norangarup they just put so much pressure onto Newdigate. Newdigate had so many players down on form. Big Dino Rintoul he couldn't clunk them. He was just having one of those days, and they only had OFA up front. He kicked the first 5 goals for Newdigate, and then they shut him down after that. But, they just had players down on form. It's not like they were the week before. I know they had probably an easy run against Jerramungup, didn't have a lot of pressure put on them, but when the pressure came on the weekend, it was Norangarup that just stuck to it, even though Newdigate got in front in the last quarter, but Norangarup then kicked away again, and they thoroughly deserved to be there. They finished on top throughout the home and away, and they're back to playing a grand final next week as well.
Yes, the OFA football the way it used to be, and now for that one day in September, grand finals this Saturday, September 1, in Newdigate. For the junior hockey, it will be Jerramungup versus Boxwood Hill. Senior hockey, Norangarup versus Lake Race Pingerup. Junior netball, Jerramungup, Norangarup. B grade netball, Boxwood Hill, Lake Race Pingerup. And in the A grade netball, Lake Race Pingerup and Norangarup. And we're moving on to junior football. Now this one here is looked like one-way traffic over the whole season, where Jerry has beaten Norangarup all 4 occasions by 21, 14, 37 and 17 points in the second semi. So what do you think?
Well, they had to kick 7 goals in the last quarter to win that second semi, Gary, and I really think that the problem for Jerramungup is that they are going to play in the junior hockey grand final straight before this game. So I would certainly not be saying it's not winnable from Norangarup, and I think Norangarup could cause a big upset here and get over the top of Jerramungup. I just think playing in the hockey grand final before, it's going to really hurt them. And we've seen it, it happened on the weekend with the Boxwood kids, yep. And it could happen to Jerramungup. But, they have been the best side all year, but Norangarup have played some pretty good footy too.
Let's see if their timing is right on then. In the reserves, Lake Race Pingerup up against Boxwood Hill. Now in the first series, in fact in all 3 series, Boxwood have beaten Lake Race Pingerup by 42, 8 and 19 points, but in the second semi, Lake Race Pingerup donkey licked Boxwood by 71 points.
And Boxwood have got to bounce back from that, and that's not going to be easy. The pace and the run of the young fellas from Lake Race Pingerup was just too much. I mean, Boxwood are really an aged side, but they've got, a spread of some really good players still there. But I think the pace and the young guys from Lake Race Pingerup they outran them well and truly in the second semi. So it's really in front of Boxwood to come back from there. But they were pretty good on the weekend in the preliminary finals. But I think I'll stick with Lake Race Pingerup to win that one.
And so far this season in the league, Boxwood Hill and Norangarup are just rotating wins. So there's 2 and 2 each. In the first series, Norangarup by 11 points. Second series, Boxwood by 22. Norangarup in the third series by 14, but a huge win to Boxwood by 72 points in the second semi.
Well, Boxwood got so many runners. Norangarup have got the X factors. There's no doubt about that. But if Long Turner doesn't come back, I'll find it hard to go with Norangarup. But after watching them on the weekend against Newdigate, they certainly showed they can play some really good pressure football, and that's what it takes. They can kick goals quickly when they do get on a roll, and but Boxwood, I think you get the Vauxhall boys. They run, and then they've got so many runners. Isaac Baum, and they're a pretty good side. And up forward they got blokes who can kick a few goals. We've said all year, Norangarup have got multiple goal kickers. Well, they're going to have to kick multiple goals to win on the weekend, and after the second semi-final, for them to come back from 60 points loss in that to beat Boxwood, they're going to have to play their very best footy.
The OFA grassroots footy at its best. Now, tight Ganser medal vote count yesterday, Kim.
Doesn't get any closer than that, Gary, as a matter of fact, does it?
No, it's fantastic. For the second time in OFA's 56-year history, the first being just 4 seasons ago, we had a tie for the Ganser medal. The winners being Tyler Caldwell of Narangarup and Trent Donati of Newdigate. And Tyler came from Catanian Wanderers to Narangarup Footy Club in 2014, was 4th in the vote count in that season, won Narangarup's fairest and best in 2014 and 15, and was runner-up in 2017, is club captain this season and a premiership player in 2015 and 17, is a member of OFA's 2015 Landmark Country Championship Division 3 Premiership, and in 2010 played in the OFA with Kent District. So wonderful to see him finally come through.
No, well deserved it. I mean, I think we went along there. I definitely did think that Scotty Anderson was my favourite for it to win it, but they took votes off each other all the way through. And Tyler's played, he's tough. We know that. And he's hard at it and thoroughly deserves it. So good luck to him. And Donati from up at Newdigate, he's a travelling player. And, really good to see a guy that's put his heart and soul that travels down from Perth to play to be rewarded like that.
Yes, he came to the OFA this season from WA Amateur Club Cottesloe, played juniors with the Swanbourne Junior Footy Club and played 27 league games for Claremont in the Waffle between 2007 and 2010. Runner-up for the Ganser medal, Matt Campbell of Boxwood Hill. Matt has come 4th in 2014, runner-up in 2015, 16 and this season. And ironically, though, leading after the second series this season, never attracted a vote in the last series. And when he didn't feature in last year's medal count, top 10 anyway, teammate Isaac Baum won the medal in his return year to Boxwood Hill. So Matt's just got to hold on another year.
Well, I'll probably not go on holidays when he goes on holidays, Gary.
Oh, okay,
he missed a couple of games, I think, and he's been a very good footballer in the OFA and a really good carnival football, Matty, and he's thereabouts all the time, and it shows how good he is with his votes in the Ganser, I think.
Yeah, fantastic. Our other awards in the Great Southern Carnival, 2 runner-up for the OFA's best at that carnival, Boxwood Hills teammates, Todd Retallick and Hayden Richter, and the fairest and best was Narangarup's Cody Harris. Yeah,
and a really good effort from all these young fellas, and they're the future of the OFA, so it's good to see them featuring well in these vote counts.
And OFA runner-up for the Landmark Championships was Boxwood's Isaac Baum and fairest and best Luke Bairstow.
Oh, well, there's not much more you can say about these blokes, but Luke Bairstow has had an extremely good career in the OFA.
Yeah, and of course Isaac Baum was the sole OFA representative in the WA All-Stars in 2018, and we've had 4 state representatives that were awarded certificates yesterday in Luke Bairstow, Isaac Baum, Jaden Brooks and Chris Wollaston. Dean Rintle, the leading top goal kicker from Newdigate for the OFA. The goal umpire of the year, Jeff Saborn, a bit of a surprise for Jeff. First time winner.
It was, but it was his score, Gary, as you pointed out to me. He officiated in 12 games, they marked out of 10, he got 120 points, so yeah, well, you can't do any better than that, can you?
And that's unprecedented in OFA's voting. The field umpire, an old-timer that's come back to claim the award, Chris Norton.
Well, like we said, we really do appreciate umpires. We thank them for what they do, and, it's one of those jobs that we can't have footy without them, and I take my hat off and admire all these guys getting out there, and they aren't getting any younger, so we are really on the hunt for some more if there's anyone that wants to do it.
And a very worthy winner of the WA Country Football League Volunteer of the Year, Lake Race Pingrup's George Chirkop, who has the coach's role there at the club.
And he's only new into town too, and he's done a tremendous job and a lot of work with the Lake Race Pingrup Footy Club.
Yeah, just moving on to the juniors, Jerramungup's Jaden Morton won the junior vote count from Narangarup's Murray Haywood, who was second, and those two have been standouts all season when you looked at their tally of votes.
couple of really good kids, Gary, and well worth watching play footy. And, they're both going to be on display again in the grand final and well worth going to watch.
Absolutely. Reserves vote count, the Kelly O'Neill Trophy runner-up Jared King and fairest and best Jared's teammate Brett Plain, both of Boxwood Hill.
And that tells you how dominant Boxwood have been throughout the year, undefeated all year until the second semi in the reserves, and thoroughly deserved. Brett Plain probably should be playing league footy, but I don't think he doesn't obviously do all the training the others do, because you wouldn't have any other reason not to be picking him.
Absolutely. The OFA Rookie of the Year, Mitchell O'Neill from Lake Race Pingerup.
And this kid's got a huge future in front of him. He's only a little fella, but he is a real tiger at the game, and he's good to watch as well, and good luck to him for his future. And
also OFA's 2016 Rookie of the Year, Tyron Smallwood, then from Boxwood Hill, made his Waffle League debut on Saturday for Claremont, joining his brother Dylan in the team.
And how good's that for those two guys? It's really, really good to see. And, hard work does pay off, and that's a, prime example of it from this young fella.
And, of course, Father Alan Smallwood hoping to coach Boxwood Hill to its first OFA League premiership since 2006 this Saturday.
I think Boxwood are the longest drought in the OFA. All clubs have won one since Boxwood won their last one. So it would be it'd be good for the club, and it would be good for footy, but I think no one got a bit to say about that yet.
The OFA, where the whole family plays together. In Boxwood Hills, fairest and best vote count, Michael Swarbrick beat home Isaac Baum and Matt Campbell. And for Jerramungup, Ben Hislop, the winner there, and Bronson Spencer runner-up. Anything else you wish to mention?
No, that one's not. That last one, Gary, that's just that they have two sort of in the jury. They've got a pub vote and a club vote, and that was a pub vote. The club vote will be this Sunday, so that's still not completely finished.
Apologies for getting that wrong then.
No, that's all good.
You never know. Ben Hislop has been on song this season and would be a deserved winner of both.
It'll be out of those two, I would guarantee you, in the next one as well.
Okay, anything else you wish to mention?
No, that's about it from me, Gary, and thank you very much for the year, and thank you, Norm, for your airtime and for getting this for us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you to Kim Parsons. Until next week, this is Gary Bartholomew wishing you all the best in shooting for your goals.